So Gavin, can you tell me the story of Roofrapper?
Roofrapper is the story of a 12-year-old boy called Henk, who lives in a part of Liverpool, on the outskirts of Liverpool, called Netherley. It's a story of a young boy who's given a book by his grandfather, a book of urban myths about the city. And he goes on this adventure trying to find out whether the myths are real or not.
And why did you want to tell this story?
The central episode of the story, the loss of somebody close to him, comes from my own life. Something that happened to me when I was around the same age of the boy in the story. It followed me into adulthood. In fact, in some ways, it was the moment I became an adult.
Describe the area that the film's set in.
I was set in Netherley. Netherley's at the outer reaches of the city. It sort of borders a lot of open countryside and farmland. And it's that sort of community on the margins or area on the margins which really interested me. It invites the imagination to dream and think of other things beyond itself, and that sort of that might or might not be there. And it's just a strange juxtaposition of two worlds, really. And those two worlds are illustrative of, I suppose, what Henk's mind is like.
Hundreds of years ago, when the people of Liverpool got rid of their human bodily waste by means of holes in the ground...
What happens to Henk when he starts thinking about myths and reading about the myths his grandfather's told him?
It alters his perceptions, I suppose, in a lot of ways. It makes him look at the world in a different way. And in some ways it changes the physical reality of the world around him. The world becomes different to him than what it is to everyone else.
Tying him to a long, heavy pick, Stu was left overnight in the cold and dark.
Obviously, the largest myth at the centre of the story is the Roofrapper itself.
Well, the Roofrapper underpins the whole story. It's the central myth of the tale and the thing that Henk most wants to believe in. It's this figure that he pursues, he wants to chase and capture, and I suppose when he thinks he chases and captures it, it will reveal some profound truth.
Who is Henk for you?
Henk is me as a child, with all of the problems and dilemmas and tensions that you have growing up, you know, self-awareness, what you dream of becoming, and at the same time there's a sort of dignity to him, wanting to better himself.
And what about his grandfather, Philly?
Well, Philly represents sort of shows a dying generation. He keeps up the oral tradition of storytelling and wants Henk to inherit those things and pass those things on to him. And that's one of the major themes of the story, is passing on stories.
And what about the character Henk encounters?
Yeah, Fong is this darker, more, I suppose, menacing aspect of childhood.
Stu or Stu?
Is that like dinner, like fucking scouts or something?
And yet I wanted to treat him with some sympathy and understanding as well.
When fucking dinosaurs were around and that?
Not that far back.
Fucking cavemen?
No, later. Victorian times.
Who the fuck's that?
Matter. Anyway, he got caught stealing food from his mate, yeah. As a punishment, they locked him down there for the weekend.
Why?
Not meant to steal.
Henk is initially wary of Fong and tries to avoid him. But as the story develops, Fong starts to show a greater interest in Henk's world.
Came back after the weekend and he was gone.
You fucking like that?
Some people think so.
Fong is vulnerable. He's particularly naive to storytelling, which Henk has a great capacity for.
Exits. So some people reckon that about 100 rats came and ate him, turned into a big massive one.
Where is it then?
In the sewers?
Which fucking one?
I don't know. Let's go and find out.
What if it's just a fucking fella looking at you?
And what?
Well, is it a fucking fella looking at you or is it a fucking rat?
You have to come with me to find out. Story's real.
What happens with the two of them?
They set off on this journey to verify whether the myths are real or not. And through that journey, Henk starts to come to terms with this great loss that's damaged him.
Fuck it, come out then.
My granddad told me that when you dream, you're really alive somewhere else. That way you get to be two people at once.